Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we celebrate our country's independence by celebrating Nintendo dependence. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Hey, Mark. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We could wait forever if you don't fall. If
I don't ask you a question,
yeah.
if I just say I'm joined by
I
Mark
will sit
Mitchell,
here in stony silence,
and then I got to do the whole episode
like
by
a
myself.
bear from the Country Bear Jamborees before the show starts.
Yeah, or after the show's over, really.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing when you're on a loop.
I'm saying that like the end of the day. Park is closed.
Oh, sure,
Does the Country Bear Jamboree still exist?
it does
Okay.
in Tokyo Disneyland and at the Magic Kingdom in Florida. Its original home, opening day attraction, 1971.
Wow. That's
More information than you asked for.
I mean, yes, it was more information than I asked for. I'm happy to have it. Thank you for telling me about the Country Bear Jamboree.
Anytime.
But not again. Just the one time. Here's something that you can do just one time, and really you could do it more than once. Borrow my copy of Sonic Forces for the Nintendo Switch. You know you want to?
You know you can, if nothing else.
Certainly you can. All you have to do is email us at Nintendo Cartridge Society
At gmail.com.
with the mailing address, and then I send you this game card and you play it.
Or you don't.
Yeah, you just put it up on if you have like a mantle, like a fireplace,
Mm-hmm.
you just display it prominently, and people will come into your house and
Next
say,
to like family photos.
yeah, of course.
It's like, oh, what a beautiful family you have. Ah, what an interesting copy of Sonic Forces.
and you'll say, yes, there's an interesting story behind this. I didn't purchase this. I just listened to a podcast, and now it's in my home.
Yeah, but be sure to plug the name of the podcast.
Yes,
It's the least you can
please,
do in that
it
scenario.
is the least you can do. I listened to a podcast, and I won't tell you what it is. Mark, it is the 4th of July today.
Happy 4th of July, Patrick.
Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. We have got to discuss Nintendo dependence. So let us dither no further and start talking about it. Okay. So this is just fun wordplay, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Independence and Nintendo dependence.
Exactly.
What do we mean specifically?
We're talking about our favorite kid characters in Nintendo
Yes.
games.
Children who are part of the Nintendo universe. And what we will go through, we each brought 5 to the table here.
Mhm.
So we will go through with our favorites. And then I believe we had discussed maybe determining which of them should be emancipated.
Yes, the possibility exists.
Right. But we will decide once we have our full list of 10 whether or not that is something we want to do.
Mhm.
I do not want to jump the gun on this, Mark.
No.
Okay. Would you like to go first, or should I?
You know, I would love for you to go first.
Okay. My first child character comes from the world of The Legend of Zelda. Specifically, I'm talking the Wind Waker. I am the child here is Medley, the Rito chief daughter or whatever she is from Wind Waker. She is a little bird person. She takes care of the prince and is also like kind of she tends to the dragon god Valu. And then also you get to control her in a Zelda game, which those games are not very well known for allowing you to control other
super
characters. And it only happens in this game 2 times. Once with her, and once with, is his name Makar or Markar, the little Deku guy?
I think so.
And I think I may prefer him to her because he's adorable, right? He's so cute. But it's not clear if he's a child, right? Is he a child?
I don't know.
It's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
But I think she's really cool. She has like a harp that she mostly uses to reflect light, like you do with most harps. But she's a cool flying warrior. I like her.
It's children warriors are fun.
Children warriors are fun.
My first pick also comes from a Legend of Zelda game.
Great.
Twilight Princess.
Mm.
I'm talking, of course, about Mallow.
No, okay. These are supposed to be our favorite characters, right? Our favorite child characters.
Mallow is
Mallow's so weird.
It's so weird. This entire game.
Yeah.
Like most of the NPC in Twilight Princess and like the designs in Twilight Princess, I am so curious to know the genesis behind them.
Yeah.
Because they're so weird and abstract and like super specific.
I mean,
I malformed.
Yeah, I don't think it's wrong to say that like one of the guiding principles in character design is ugly, right? Like that, like
no, I think it's it obviously was a choice.
Yes. And it's not necessarily that like I don't mean that to like be critical of it, but like all the characters in the game are ugly.
And not just the characters, like like the human characters for sure, pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
But some of like the face chicken thing.
Oh yeah, those ukus or whatever they are.
Like why?
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff is so baffling to me that when I was thinking up kid characters for this list, I tried to find somewhere where a creator of that game had talked about the genesis of these characters.
Yeah.
I mean, like Mallow is 6 maybe, but has like a Baby Herman from Roger Rabbit thing going on where
Totally.
like speaks much more like an adult.
Yes. And is an entrepreneur.
Yes, is an entrepreneur. Looks it could be any gender, but is a boy. You wouldn't necessarily guess that.
Right. Thank you for not making me guess.
Just like completely baffling choices that were clearly choices where there's a part where you're doing the slingshot practice and if you aim at the kids they'll like duck or like get out of the way. Mallow doesn't duck.
No.
He bends backwards and stares straight up into the sky like he's in like The Exorcist
or The Matrix. Mallow, you don't know it, is in bullet time.
Like it's all so baffling that if nothing else, he's so memorable that people hate Mallow, and I get it because he's rude.
Yeah,
he's mean. He like
very rude.
Runs Mallow Mart.
Which is also like what a vanity project that is, right?
I mean, it's basically the Walmart of Hyrule.
Sure, but I mean, like that, I'll argue is a vanity project as well. Putting your name on a thing. Come on, Mallow, serve the kingdom.
But I don't know. It's not even that. Like the first time I played through, I did not even particularly care for Mallow, but just the amount of work that went into making Mallow so weird is clearly like somebody on the Zelda team or the Zelda team as a whole was like, let's just make this character as like mean and weird as possible, and they did that in so many places in Twilight Princess. That's kind of my favorite part of that game.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things that I think we like about the Zelda franchise in general, right? Is that they will put something like unpleasant and specific in a game. That's what Tingle is, right? Like Tingle is singular and a little bit upsetting and like unpleasant, but like you also kind of love it. And I think Mallow falls right into that category.
Yeah, you love the dedication to the joke, if nothing else.
That's right. Good answer. My second child character is Mike Jones from Star Tropics. I'm unclear on exactly how old Mike is. A young teenager is my guess, that he's maybe like 13 or 14. He is an ace pitcher. This is something that we know about him, plays baseball. And mostly what we know about him is that he is a stereotypical American kid as seen through the eyes of a Japanese game developer.
Exactly. Red hair.
Freckles.
Uh-huh.
What I like
basically a young Ron Howard.
He's basically young Ron Howard meets young Indiana Jones.
A little bit of Ferguson from Clarissa Explains It All in there.
Why not? That makes me like him a little less. Isn't the Ron Howard part enough, Mark? I like Mike because he is so chill with any adventure that gets thrown at him. he's traveling through time, and he's like, all right, man, I don't know, I'm gonna find these Tetraminos.
I'm
and
from Seattle.
I'm
I'm
from
totally
Se-
cool with
yeah.
it.
And also, like, he is just such a transparent, like, what he is just where Mallow is cloaked in mystery, and where, like, someone made these decisions and I don't understand why. Mike makes perfect sense. We can draw a straight line through what the Japanese know about Americans to and through Mike Jones.
Like, I'm surprised that fast food isn't featured more prominently in the Star Tropics series.
yeah, like, why does
But Coca-Cola is.
That's true, because the island, that's one of the islands, and actually all of the islands are something cola. Man, I wish that there was another entry in that series just so we could see like what the actual trajectory there, because like those two games are so different thematically from each other that I would just love to see one more take at it so we could be like, that's what Star Tropics is.
It would be really interesting to see what like a modern version of Mike Jones is.
Yeah.
Just like when we got a modern Punch Out with the Wii Punch Out.
Yes.
To see like those updated stereotypes.
Yeah, I want to see that updated like American Seattle boy stereotype. Let's see it.
Speaking of updated Seattle boy stereotype,
Very
my
interesting.
next pick is Nestor.
All right, Mark, you are speaking my language.
Okay, so Nestor, way back in the day, was featured in early issues of Nintendo Power.
That's right.
It was like Nestor, who is this teenage boy, and Howard,
Yes.
who was based on Howard. I'm blanking on his last name right now.
I also don't know his last name.
Or is that his last name? And his first name was.
Hold on, I'm googling.
Okay,
Howard,
great.
Howard
But anyways,
Nestor.
he was an executive at Nintendo who eventually left to go to LucasArts. Lincoln Howard? Is that his name?
Howard Phillips.
Howard Phillips.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, so Nestor was only featured. He showed up occasionally in other games as cameos, but was only featured in one game. And this is also speaking your language, Patrick.
Yes.
Because it was
Nestor's
Nestor's
Funky
Funky Bowling for the Virtual Boy.
Yes.
Where they invented. Okay, first of all, Nestor by this point, Nestor was never like a hugely popular character.
No, but there was the full page comic strip. Howard and Nestor appeared in every issue of Nintendo Power. So I wonder if, because the Virtual Boy came out in 1995, I wonder if they were still doing Howard and Nestor's by that point. Probably.
I don't know. But okay, they also invented a female version of Nestor who we had never seen before named Hester, because there had to be a boy and a girl avatar
Sure.
for this bowling game. It's just so dumb.
Yeah. No, look, I think that Nestor is one of those pieces of Nintendo history that has had such a weird trajectory, and I don't know why they haven't pulled him out of retirement to just like be in something. Like I don't know, he feels exciting to me. Like, let's see Nestor. Let's see him like bumbling around, screwing stuff up, or let's see him bowl again. I don't care.
He should have been an unlockable in Wii Bowling.
Yes. I mean, 100%.
He should be a trophy in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate if he's not already.
Right.
That way we can get some of those banging Nestor's Funky Bowling tracks.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea what the music
I have no idea what it sounds like, but I imagine it sounds like boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom, boom.
yeah. So funky.
I mean, I just have funk coming out of my pores.
That's
so
right.
I funk by accident.
That's a good pick. Nestor is a wonderful pick. My next child is actually two children. They are Dinah and Mite, who are moles. They're mole people from Moleville in Super Mario RPG.
Patrick,
Yes.
when we were kind of like talking around our lists earlier,
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, I have two children,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "There's no way that we can't both have the same two children on our list."
Do you have this same set of two
No,
children?
I don't, which is what makes this so miraculous.
Oh, okay. Well, Dinah...
So tell me about your children.
Okay, so these children, they're moles, or they're mole people at any rate. When Mario comes to Moleville in Super Mario RPG, it's something like the third star or something like that is buried in the coal mine, which has collapsed with miners inside. So Mario, being the good hero that he is, goes in to rescue, and the children are also stuck in the mine for some reason. I don't believe the children are miners, but they are moles. Anyway, you go in and you are exploring this mine, and you rescue Dinah and Mite. Dinah is the little girl. Mite is like a baby. Like he's in a little like pouch on her back. And they show you to the mine cart that you ride to get out of there and like play some cool little mini game. That you can then, after you do it, like the ones to escape the mine, you can also do it again, just like get coins and stuff. But that's it. They're just little mole kids. And you meet their parents, and their names are Ma Mole and Pa Mole. So, like, they're the quintessential mole family. That's it. Dinah and Mite.
Okay, so my two kids that are inseparable
Yes.
are Timmy and Tommy Nook from the Animal Crossing series.
Very good.
They...
Tom Nook's children.
No, that's the
No,
thing.
they
are not. I know.
What?
They are somehow maybe related to Tom Nook. I think in earlier games it was hinted that they were like nephews or something, like a Donald Duck Huey, Dewey, and Louie relationship.
I guess it does
that
beg
has
the question.
been
Debunked?
or not debunked. That has been like since like decanonized.
Oh, okay.
Now
right.
they're just like two little Nooklings.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's easy enough to explain away, just being like, they call him Uncle because you got to call the older man that takes care of you something.
Right.
Timmy and Tommy Nook, they too are entrepreneurs, yes?
Yeah, they are. So
There's a through line here for you, Mark.
before I mean I should be running for business or for president.
Yeah, you should be running for business.
I should be running for business. Timmy and Tommy Nook.
Yeah.
They worked at Nookington's, which is Tom Nook's store, before New Leaf. So in all the games prior to New Leaf, when you expanded Nookington's and got the second floor, they would be up at the top. They're always like so nice, so polite.
They're very cute.
And then yes, they're adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And then after New Leaf, or in New Leaf, they had a store of their own.
Yes.
But yeah, they're adorable. I always assumed they were Tanukis, and they are in Japan. But outside of Japan, they're just localized as raccoons, which I didn't realize.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the Nooks were just raccoon.
I mean, Tom Nook is so close to Tanuki that, like...
Right, clearly.
They are Tanukis. Like...
Well, I guess it's the same thing as... no, but see, that's the thing is, like, in Super Mario Brothers 3,
mm-hmm.
It is the Tanuki suit, right?
You get a Tanuki suit, but there's also a feather that gives
Mm-hmm.
you just, like, raccoon powers.
Ah, I see.
So, yeah, I mean, there's some... They're two discrete things, so I don't know.
But anyways,
Yeah.
Timmy and Tommy Nook are really cute. I love them.
No, that's great. And I like that they present, like, a less harsh version of capitalism. Like, Tom Nook has you under his thumb the whole game. You're paying off your mortgage to him forever.
And he, like, pretends to be your friend, but
Right,
really
but-
is just, like, digging your hole deeper.
It's like when you see your landlord and he's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And you're like, "You take all of my money."
I'd be doing better.
Yeah, if you took less of my money. That's a good pair, Mark. My next child, and maybe we will have to debate whether or not this counts as a child. I am talking, of course, about the baby, the Metroid that Samus rescues, rescues because the planet explodes at the end of Metroid 2, and that she then gives over to the Galactic
Federation.
Yeah, the scientists there, and they study it, and then Ridley escapes with it, and there's this whole thing.
You don't want to describe the entire plot of Other M?
No, I don't. I don't want to describe all of Other M, and I also, I mean, like, I love that it is a Metroid that forms an emotional attachment to Samus, saves her at the end.
Metroid Other M, M-O-M.
Yes, Mom. God, that game and its mother imagery, it's so, like, ham-fisted is
For
not
the cheap
enough.
seats.
Yeah, it is like, it is shouting to the cheap seats. It is, the cheap seats have been replaced by subwoofers that people are sitting on.
It just goes, Mom, Mom, Mom.
Mom.
But yeah, I think it's fair to call this a baby.
Okay, great. I mean, she does over and over again in Other M. And it is also hard to talk about this Metroid further because its only personality characteristics are that it seems to care for Samus. Other than that, it is Metroid and basically a life-sucking monster. But it's weirdly cute sometimes.
Yeah, it can be for sure.
Yeah.
So here's one that we could also potentially debate.
This is good. I like it when we can debate our choices.
Mega Man,
Oh, now that is interesting.
because he's programmed, according to the research I did, to be like 10 years old-ish.
Uh-huh.
But is this a Steven Spielberg's artificial intelligence situation where what it doesn't mean for Mega Man to have feelings or emotions? Like, is he a child or is he just a robot
Right.
that has been programmed to look like a child,
I mean,
which is weird in its own right?
right. And is that really just to make him more like Astro Boy? Is that like really all that is?
I would assume so.
Um,
Or at least maybe more relatable to the kids.
I mean that's probably the real thing is that he's a kid to be.
Because it's not like being programmed to be 10 years old has any bearing on anything that happens in that game.
No, none whatsoever. I do think it is interesting that here in the States and I guess everywhere outside of Japan, we call him Mega Man, so that like man is built into his name, but that's not. His name is Rock.
Yeah, I mean, but the title of the series is Rockman.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
but maybe it's man in like the universal, like Brotherhood of Man.
Oh, sure.
type
If he were
sense.
named now, he'd be Rock Bro.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Let's count him as a kid. And 'cause he certainly also has a paternal relationship to Dr. Light. So yeah. No. I think that all holds together. I like Mega Man. He's good. He's got a sister.
I mean, yeah,
and
like
a dog.
like Metroid. Love the dog.
Yeah.
Like Metroid, he doesn't really have a ton of personality.
Yeah. So it's tough too. But how do you not love Mega Man?
Yeah.
My next child, 9-Volt from the WarioWare franchise. So specifically, I'm thinking about his appearances in the later games and in WarioWare Gold. There's that. It's called the Creeping Gamer or the Sleeping Gamer or something like that, where you are playing. Where 9-Volt is playing WarioWare micro games in bed, and you have to stop playing whenever his mom is around. And his mom can walk by the window. She can come in through the door. She can also come out through the TV like the girl in The Ring. But it's just great that he's your guide through this, and like he's actually the one playing these games. So when you push L and R together, he's the one hiding under the covers.
Yeah, there's a great Smash Brothers level kind of built around this mechanic as well.
Yes. And also just like as a kid, it's so he's a child. He's in like 4th grade or something, but he's obsessed with retro video games and old school classic games. And his only friend is 18-Volt, who appears to be a grown man. Right? This guy is like wearing tracksuits and is like tall. Maybe he's
definitely
a child.
like
I don't know.
I feel like you get like a Donkey Diddy Kong vibe
Totally.
from this, where you're like, how old is Donkey Kong? He's wearing a tie, so he has a job.
Well, you can wear a tie without a job.
That's true.
I've
if you're
done
going
it
to
without a
church.
job. Or a funeral.
Great point. Maybe Donkey Kong's grandmother died, and
He
he's
did.
always
Wrinkly
wearing
Kong
this tie.
dies.
That's right. You know what? We answered these. You're right. It's unknowable.
Asked and answered. But I like that they have a bond over music and retro games. So maybe 9-Volt has like the tastes of an older person. And then also plays these games in bed and tries to hide it from his mom. Plus that helmet he wears is dope too.
It's a great helmet.
Yeah, it's like a yellow helmet with like a light bulb in it. I want to get me one of those.
I might have brought up Donkey Kong Country a little bit earlier because my next pick and final, I think, pick is Dixie Kong.
Oh.
Not Diddy Kong.
Okay.
And originally I was like, oh, Diddy Kong, of course. But then I thought back to the episode we did where we ranked the Kongs.
Yes.
And I believe Dixie Kong was ranked higher. And one of the arguments I put forth for her was that I find in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, I
Yes.
find her like extra little up jump
Yeah, she gets
to be
just a
much more
little bit more
helpful
height.
than Diddy Kong's.
Yes.
So for that reason, I'm choosing Dixie.
Okay, so I will push back on this just enough to discuss how old we think. I mean, obviously they're monkeys, so they have different lifespans, right? But like,
Are we taking that into account?
I mean, let's translate them into human years. How
Okay.
old do you think Dixie Kong is?
Okay, so two things. Yes, they have
No bananas.
a different like lifespan.
Yes.
But Donkey Kong is a gorilla,
Right.
so he has a very long lifespan, like
Right.
human.
Yes. And then Diddy and Dixie are chimpanzees?
Right?
No, but they have tails.
Are they? Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what they're.
Look, we're not
supposed to
monkey
be.
experts. We
We're
don't know.
not.
No, but
I guess my point is,
Yes.
I think that they're about 13.
okay. All right. Thank you.
That's my, because I think they're like,
You know, that makes me hate their win stances in Donkey Kong Country 2 a little bit less. That she
okay,
that she like pulls out a guitar and that he pulls out like a boom
boombox.
box.
I mean, it's super annoying, but what else do you expect?
From a 13-year-old?
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. If they're a little bit older, you'd be like, get it together.
Yeah, be like
If they're a
just
little bit
show
younger,
some chill.
you'd just be jealous that they had an electric guitar and a boombox.
Totally. All right. So we will accept canonically and relatively they're 13 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, around there. They're
Sure.
preteens for sure. And
Okay.
like Donkey is a little bit older. He can probably drive.
I mean, we've seen them both drive go-karts.
Right.
They drive go-karts.
Yeah.
That's not quite the same.
No.
Okay, Mark, now that we have laid out all of these children characters on the table, we need to determine if we want to go through and decide who of these characters should be emancipated from their guardians.
Okay, so to run down my list real fast, it's
Yes.
Nestor, Mallow, Dixie Kong, Timmy and Tommy Nook, and Mega Man, who I think I chose a list of really strong
Yeah.
women or
Some
children,
yes.
some of which are women.
Yes.
And I don't really know that they need to be emancipated because they are kind of taking matters into their own hands.
Run them down again?
Nestor,
Uh-huh.
who like
Unknown guardianship. Then.
unknown guardianship, presumably has a family.
It sounds to me like we are determining who should be emancipated and who
Okay,
should not be.
Yes, I
Okay, great.
agreed. We're shaking hands over the
Right.
table.
Mhm.
Okay, so Nestor,
A little behind the scenes look here. We actually did not touch hands. And I'm over here trying to figure out if that says something about me.
I mean, through the magic of radio, you were never supposed to know that.
Right.
You
well,
could've-
I'm pulling back the curtain here. I'm putting on the mask and revealing like the masked magician. All right. So Nestor has no guardian.
No. Presumably, he has a guardian,
Oh, okay.
but he has like a fine guardian, right? We're not worried about his
Yes.
well-being, but he's obviously not mature enough to strike out on his own.
No. He's got to like make peace with Howard first, and
Yeah.
then prove that he's mature enough.
I think he just has like a normal upbringing,
Sure.
and so
Yeah. I mean,
doesn't need to be
emancipation. To be fair, pretty dramatic move. right?
exactly. So whoever his guardians are, whether they're grandparents or
Right.
just like a single parent, maybe he has like a lesbian.
Maybe he has a lesbian. Maybe he's got two moms. Maybe he's got two dads.
Exactly.
It seems plenty stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's fine.
Right.
Mallow, too young to be emancipated.
Too young to be emancipated, but it seems like he's already emancipated himself. Right.
Just bad parenting.
Right. Are his parents still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Alright.
yes. We beat them in the game.
Yeah. But like
Or the dad, at least.
so Mallow gets kidnapped very early in the game,
Uh-huh.
right? And then gets returned to Kakariko Village, which isn't where he's from. Right? He's back. He's from the original village that that Link and all the rest of the kids are from. And then he just never goes home. He just opens up Mallow Mart.
In Kakariko Village?
Yeah,
Is
he's.
this true?
I think so.
Okay.
He's basically already emancipated.
Yeah.
I guess is my
Uh-huh.
is my argument.
And
there.
the law of the land is that he's emancipated.
There you go.
Doesn't need to be because he is.
Right.
Dixie Kong and Diddy Kong.
Uh,
No, they need better guardians.
They do need better guardians. We need to get a Jane Goodall in there.
Timmy and Tommy Nook doing fine.
yeah.
And Mega Man. I mean, Mega Man does need to be extricated from the situation, but when you're the hero, you don't really have any option.
Yeah, I mean it is a real problem because Mega Man, Rock and Roll were both designed like to be like companion robots.
Mhm.
But then as soon as Dr. Wily turns a couple of robots evil, then it's like, well, sorry, Dad says that you got to fight robots now. He needs to be emancipated. He needs to be out of that home.
But do you
He's
think
turned into a weapon.
do you think this is a Jungle to Jungle type situation?
You will need to explain yourself.
Jungle to Jungle was a movie from the 90s. Starring Tim Allen, where like I believe it was a remake of a French movie, a very successful French movie. But the premise of this movie is that Tim Allen is just like your average everyday working too hard 90s guy, white straight guy, and his wife was like a scientist in, I believe, either South America, like the jungles of South America, or of Africa. I can't remember which one it was.
She was fostering Diddy and Donkey.
Yes.
Diddy and Dixie Kong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Watching from a distance, not getting involved in their lives, but
Right.
just like documenting it. And she like adopts a kid or has a
the kid.
and he like grew up in the jungle, and so he gets brought back to the city to live with Tim Allen, and hijinks
Antics,
ensue.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how we got.
You
on
said
this.
that Mega Man somehow is a jungle to jungle situation.
Oh,
where he just needs to be.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, I think where I was going with that, and it was so long ago that who can even really know?
No one can.
That, like Mega Man, this is like a somebody like leaving a cult or something. Like he would have to be like
sure.
reacclimated into society.
Literally reprogrammed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which like that's a dramatic step for
Yeah.
a 10-year-old.
It is, but I think it is worth taking because right now he is a weapon. He's been radicalized.
Are you willing to give up the safety that he provides for this robot's own well-being? Did we just write the sequel to Ex Machina?
I think we did.
So yes, but I agree with you. For his benefit, he
Mhm.
should be emancipated. The question of the greater good will be answered in a forthcoming podcast.
I mean,
I'm sure.
I think you can just make another robot, one that doesn't have like human blood or like a consciousness like Mega Man does. Mega Man has human blood. Did
Or
you know
also-
that? He has human blood.
Also, don't make him 10.
Yeah, don't make him 10.
Make him like a like super soldier.
Make a RoboCop.
Make a Terminator.
Okay, so my should they be emancipated
Uh-huh.
list. Medley, the Rito chieftain's daughter from Wind Waker. I feel like she has a role to serve in that family. And yeah, I think that
Yeah, it seems her
she's
like
good in that
home
family.
structure is sound.
Absolutely. Mike Jones from Star Tropics. Who is his guardian? His guardian is not Dr. Jones,
Right,
his uncle.
Uncle,
He's got parents back in Seattle
presumably.
who keep sending him on these like vacations to like uncharted islands. Maybe he should be emancipated.
Well, I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong
Mm.
with Uncharted Islands as a vacation spot, but
Mm,
he's like
but-
sent off on a quest,
Yeah.
right, in the first game.
Well, he's sent to just to visit his uncle on this uncharted island.
Oh, see, that seems fine to me.
Yeah, I guess that is fine.
Like I
yeah.
would be totally
sounds
psyched if
fun,
I was
yeah.
like 12.
It is interesting that when
I mean, I'd be psyched now.
it is interesting that when he gets to the island and discovers that his uncle is missing, that he doesn't think to like call home.
No,
Although I guess how's he going to do that? He's on an island. He doesn't have a cell phone.
it's the early 90s,
Yeah, it's like
late 80s.
1991. I mean, come on. Okay, so Mike Jones probably okay.
I
in
mean, he
whatever
has
situation he's
other
in.
problems. As in, like, he should maybe, I mean, maybe this is saying a lot about me. Maybe he should just be less adventurous. You know, like, your uncle's missing. Maybe contact the authorities. Don't, like, go on this whole quest.
Yeah, but time is of the essence here. Aliens are involved. He doesn't know that at the time, but aliens are involved.
That's right.
So it's good that he takes care of it on his own instead of because look, if you call the authorities and they're like aliens are involved, you know who's gonna get looped in then? The Men in Black,
Oh, yeah.
and then you're not gonna remember anything. Dinah and Mite, the mole children from Moleville in Super Mario RPG.
I mean, they seem fine, just caught up in unfortunate circumstances.
I think that's right. And like maybe you could say that their parents like brought them into a dangerous life of mining, but also they're moles.
Right.
Like, it seems like that's what their life is and would be no matter what. So I say they stay with their family. Here's a tough one.
Okay.
The baby Metroid from Super Metroid. Who is the Metroid's guardian? Samus?
Well, here we go back to the fundamental question
Yes.
of, is the Metroid, like, do we consider the Metroid
Yeah.
like a person? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this an animal or even like a face hugger from the Alien series
Right.
where we
Yeah.
need to eradicate it, even though one is showing affection for a human?
And just for one human, like, there is a lot of evidence throughout that game, through all of its appearances, that it is murdering other people, other creatures. So, like, yeah, it's still a
Is this like an
life
old,
force vampire.
like an old Yeller situation where
Sure.
like
We need to emancipate
the
it from life.
Exactly, the Metroid is rabid,
Yeah.
and for the greater good,
Yep.
it needs to be put down.
I think that is correct. That hurts me to say because I like it as I like it.
I mean, it'll continue to exist in that form. It's
Right.
just that, like,
I mean, also it does die at the end of Super Metroid, right? Like, that's
also true.
that's a truism. Okay, and then finally, 9-Volt from the WarioWare games.
Everything seems fine to me there.
Okay, but are you sure? Again, his mother pops out of the TV like she is the girl in the ring.
So, look, maybe it's an unconventional family,
Sure.
right? Maybe mom is possessed by the devil. But is he being fed,
Yes.
taken care of?
It does seem like he has a comfortable bed.
He has a bedtime,
Mm-hmm.
so his mom is concerned with him, like, getting the amount of sleep that he needs to be able to function in the world.
Also, I guess since he is obsessed with video games, that she has found that one of the only ways that she can connect to him is appearing through the TV.
That's right.
I mean, that's just good involved parenting. All right, so he stays with his family.
So I feel like most of yours were, no, they're fine.
Yes, that's correct.
And then a lot of mine were, like, iffy. They were all entrepreneurs. Should I be running for business?
You should be running for business, and the only one of these that should really be emancipated is the baby Metroid from life. All right, Mark, let's close this out. I'd love to hear about other people's favorite children characters from the world of Nintendo, and also, should they be emancipated? I'm just going to decide that that's part of it now. That's 100%. You would email us at Nintendo Cartridge Society
At gmail.com.
And if you don't want to do that, just have a fun 4th of July, eat a hot dog, watch some fireworks, have a good time, enjoy the day off, unless you're listening to this after the 4th of July.
Or not in the United States.
Or not in the United. Well, but I mean, come on. Watch some fireworks anyway. You don't have to be in the United States to enjoy fireworks.
That's a great point.
Also, if fireworks are not legal or safe where you live, don't set them off.
Also a great point. I'm loving everything you're laying down, Patrick.
Mark, thank you. I feel supported, and
We're
heard.
shaking hands again
So
across the
that's-
table.
Again, we are not actually shaking hands. Although you did extend your hand to me this time, which was a nice change of pace. Okay, please review and like and subscribe. I don't think I've ever asked for anyone to like us before.
I mean, we're constantly asking for your validation, but
That is true.
the show
you should
cannot subscribe.
That's right.
And rate
And review. If you like the episode, you should share it somewhere on Facebook or Twitter. Helps us out a lot. On Twitter, I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell, and the show is at Nincart Society. We also have a Facebook page, which is just Nintendo Cartridge Society. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying thank you for listening.
fire.